It has arrived, the veil has lifted, and we have just been met by the most anticipated new moon of this cycle. Whether it registers on the collective radar or not, for those attuned to the deeper currents of existence, this event marks the subtle yet seismic beginning of a complete recalibration no one truly expected. This was not merely an astronomical occurrence. It manifested precisely at apogee, the farthest point in the moon's elliptical orbit. A mini-moon, distant and profound. That very distance is the key, the deliberate separation that allows this portal to hit with magnified force for those who are spiritually awake and actively engaged in their transformation. This confluence creates an opportunity that simply did not exist yesterday, a moment of divine engineering. We are currently bathed in the penetrating effects of this lunation, and it is crucial for your alignment that you understand its mechanics. For those of you who absorb this message, whose spirits resonate with the frequency of this text, I invite you to step fully into this moment of clarity. This journey requires your active participation and focused intent. If you feel the truth of these words settling into your soul, I ask you to click the subscribe button to join this community of deep, intentional growth. And as a sacred commitment to your highest timeline, seal this intention by commenting the powerful number 999 below. Let 999 be your manifestation code, the declaration of completion, and the beginning of your inevitable breakthrough. If you have dedicated yourself to the real inner work, the labor of the soul that draws no applause, the quiet, gritty effort undertaken when no one is watching, this new moon lands differently. You have been sacrificing comfort, embracing discomfort, and growing steadily in those invisible moments where surrender and quitting would have been the path of least resistance. This potent portal does not merely meet you, it elevates you exactly where you stand. While the masses feel scattered, thrown off balance, or gripped by a sudden, inexplicable friction, you will sense something else entirely. A profound, quiet shift in your favor. This is the celestial turning point where your persistent work begins to generate its own gravity. The residual chaos that plagues the surrounding environment, it will not touch you because you have already earned your passage beyond its reach. This earned immunity is your distinct advantage, and the tangible results of this protection are about to become undeniably clear. For months, many have been immobilized by a feeling of deep-seated stagnation. The wheels felt stuck, the future seemed blurred. This portal is the moment where everything, without dramatic fanfare, begins to move. This shift won't be announced by a flashing breakthrough or a sudden, theatrical miracle, but by something far more substantive and real: momentum. It is the kind of forward propulsion you only recognize when you finally pause, look back over your shoulder, and realize with a shock that you are no longer chained to the emotional or physical landscape of yesterday. This opening is gifting you something your spirit has desperately craved: actual, palpable, forward momentum. Perhaps this movement is subtle at first, not rushing in a tidal wave, but rather a gentle, inexorable current. Yet the essential truth is that the energy is no longer stagnant. There is suddenly room to breathe where crushing pressure once resided. There is mental spaciousness where anxiety once dominated. There is the unmistakable, guiding whisper of direction where debilitating confusion once reigned supreme. Many convinced themselves they were permanently trapped within a heavy, inescapable phase. They mistook the density for their destiny, believing that the confusion was a permanent feature of their evolving self. But this portal illuminates one truth with chilling clarity. That heavy version of you was temporary. You may not yet feel the full scale of this liberation, but you have already started the essential climb out. And the most beautiful part is that this ascent is not happening because you are forcing or straining harder. It is happening because the ground beneath you, the very foundation of your reality, is finally beginning to lift. Circumstances that felt irrevocably frozen are starting to thaw and loosen. Internal, complicated knots of self-doubt and limiting belief that refuse to yield are slowly, patiently coming undone. You are not being dragged through life's difficulty anymore. You are fundamentally rising. This is the nature of the growth that sneaks up on you, the kind that feels like waking up one ordinary morning and realizing the invisible, immense weight you have carried for so long is suddenly not as heavy as you remember. This quiet realization is the first true sign that this portal is not merely symbolic. It is powerfully functional. It is opening a clear, illuminated path that you had long since given up hope of ever seeing again. But there is a secondary, deeper current flowing beneath the visible shift of momentum. One that explains why so many of your most heartfelt desires have appeared delayed, frustrated, or frustratingly out of reach until this very moment. The timing of this apogee new moon is not an accident, and neither were the periods of frustrating standstill you have been navigating. The truth is profound. What you have been asking for has not been blocked. It has been precisely rerouted, and this open portal is the exact moment where that higher, better trajectory becomes inescapably obvious. Most people mistakenly interpret delays as a cosmic rejection or a sign that something is fundamentally wrong with their efforts. This moon operates under a different, far wiser logic. It intentionally slows certain outcomes, not to deny you the fulfillment of your wishes, but to redirect your energy toward a version of your desire that is perfectly aligned with the expansive, mature life you are truly meant to inhabit. This is not the universe closing a door. It is the universe saying, "Not that way, there is a more majestic route." Sometimes, the path you believe to be the quickest shortcut would have actually pulled you further away from the profound connection, growth, or resource you truly need. Sometimes, forcing the outcome to manifest prematurely would have locked you into a structure or an identity far too small for the boundless spirit you are becoming. This powerful lunation pulls everything back like a celestial slingshot, just long enough to rebuild the trajectory with superior precision. Understand this truth in your bones. Delays are not punishment, they are precision. The moment you successfully detach from the relentless need to obsess over how or when things are going to unfold, the portal opens wider to receive you. The tighter you clench your grip and try to control the external process, the more constricted and difficult everything will feel. The instant you consciously release that grip, everything begins to align effortlessly. This new moon operates on a counterintuitive principle, backward logic. The less you desperately push, the more powerfully you begin to receive. The less you demand absolute certainty, the faster undeniable clarity manifests. What appeared to be an agonizing standstill was actually a critical recalibration, adjusting your path so the blessings you asked for don't just arrive, but arrive at the perfect energetic angle, fitting seamlessly into your life. Once you fully grasp this divine mechanic behind the perceived delay, the next phase of this portal will not just make intellectual sense, it will feel absolutely inevitable. To fully integrate the energy of this potent portal, your task today is not one of frantic action, but one of intentional stillness and release. The universe has done the heavy lifting of recalibration. Your job is to create the clear space for the new energy to land. Here is what needs to be done today. Release the outcome. Take a few moments of deep quietude. Visualize the specific desires, plans, or outcomes you have been obsessing over or trying to force. Consciously and audibly state, "I release this outcome to my highest divine timeline." Let go of the how and the when, trusting that the universe is managing the logistics for your benefit. Affirm non-resistance. Acknowledge the feeling of impatience or urgency that may arise. Understand that this feeling is rooted in the old, fear-based rhythm. Replace it with the mantra, "I trust the stillness. I allow the alignment." Your power is in letting what is unstable fall away without chasing after it. Identify and honor the subtle shift. Pay exceptionally close attention to the smallest internal adjustments. Did you feel an impulse to say no to an old obligation? Did a long-held belief suddenly feel silly or heavy? Did a new, quiet idea pull your attention? These subtle gestures are the compass for December. Record them. They are your personalized instructions from the portal. One of the most radical characteristics of this lunation is its lack of a neat, universal collective theme. There is no single message the entire spiritual community is being pushed toward. Attempting to force a collective interpretation onto this moment actually strips away its essential, true power. There is no collective message this time. This portal is only for you. It is deeply personal, almost unnervingly so. It is not shaping the masses. It is meticulously shaping the individual. It is adjusting the private, intimate contract you hold with your own reality, not with the world's. This explains why the energy feels so strange. People are not moving in unison. Everyone is experiencing their own version of a turning point, and the variations are immense. For some, this portal ignites a sudden, calm rejection of old, outgrown loyalties, be it to a belief system, a stale routine, a suffocating relationship, or a limited version of their past self. They simply wake up feeling detached from things they once desperately clung to, often without a dramatic external catalyst. For others, the exact opposite occurs. A new, powerful obsession quietly forms, a visionary idea that pulls at them with an intensity that refuses to fade. This moon does not create one single, unified awakening. It ignites millions of micro-awakenings that look entirely different. You might feel an unshakable surge of ambition, while someone else feels an equally compelling call towards stillness and restoration. You might suddenly receive crystalline clarity, while another finally finds the courage to definitively cut a tether. That is the beauty and genius of this portal. It doesn't impose a universal path. It powerfully and accurately reveals your unique path. The most important understanding you must hold right now is that this energy is not doing something to you. It is not forcing you into some external cosmic program. What this portal truly achieves is the illumination of the inner switch you have been carrying, the one you didn't even realize you controlled. Once you see it, you are empowered to flip it yourself. This is precisely why comparing your personal journey to anyone else's right now is entirely futile. No one is receiving the exact same instructions. No one is operating on your timeline. This portal is opening a doorway that was carved specifically for your soul's architecture. If you attempt to walk through someone else's opening, you will miss the entire precious point of this personal transit. What is unfolding for you in this precise moment is the commencement of a deeply personalized shift, one that makes sense only to you and requires no external validation whatsoever. Most people operate under the assumption that a new moon's impact is contained within its immediate week, perhaps stretching to the next 10 days at most if they are consciously paying attention. But the expansive energy of this particular portal is already reaching far beyond the present, quietly and meticulously rearranging the foundational pieces that will govern the flow of December. This is not a burst of energy for the moment. It is a foundational reset for your entire next phase. The beautiful irony is that when people enter December, they will feel as though they are making fresh, conscious decisions, when in profound reality, those key decisions were already sealed and executed this very week, without dramatic recognition. This moon is not a shout or a cosmic sign thrown glaringly in your face. Instead, it works through subtle, almost invisible gestures, the kind that truly reveal the integrity of your inner evolution, the choice you almost didn't make, the intuitive impulse you brushed off, then obeyed, the small, unwavering boundary you enforced without needing to rehearse it, the precise moment you finally said no to a situation you had silently tolerated for too long. These seemingly minor internal actions are the very ones that will create the loudest, most life-altering echoes once the landscape of December unfolds. What feels right now like a negligible internal shift will ultimately become the magnetic compass that points your entire month and possibly your next year in a fundamentally different and aligned direction. We consistently underestimate the profound power of quiet decisions, but these are the decisions that possess true, unshakable sticking power. They are not born from panic, fear, or external pressure. They are born solely from clarity, and clarity, when applied consistently, always wins in the long term. December is actively being architected right now by how you choose to navigate this portal. If you deliberately lean into the refined momentum that this moon is whispering, not screaming, December transforms into a month where experiences and opportunities click into place effortlessly. It becomes a time where opportunities feel perfectly timed, not random or chaotic. You will feel deeply aligned and fluid, rather than constantly overwhelmed and reactive. Conversely, if you ignore this profound whisper, if you dismiss this period as just another new moon, you risk missing the silent, high-speed train that was specifically intended to carry you smoothly and easily into your next phase. The energy is intentionally subtle because subtle choices reveal who is truly attentive to the nuanced path of their spirit versus who is waiting for a loud external crisis to force them into action. What feels small and minor right now will be the undeniable reason December feels either divinely guided or overwhelmingly chaotic. The portal is wide open, but this hypersensitive level of accessibility is temporary. This is the moment where the smallest, most intentional inner moves carry the biggest, most beautiful consequences, where your quietest instincts possess the strongest, most accurate precision. December will serve as the mirror, showing exactly how seriously you took the invitation of this unique energy. There is a specific archetype of person this new moon is addressing, and deep down, they know exactly who they are. They are the ones who are standing right on the precipice, not in a place of theatrical despair, but in that quiet, soul-deep exhaustion where the gentle voice of self-defeat whispers, "Maybe this path simply isn't meant for me." It is the kind of resignation that bypasses tears and manifests as numbness. You stopped fighting, not from apathy, but because you were utterly depleted from caring with no visible reward. This profound exhaustion is precisely why this new moon landed in the way that it did. The timing is too exquisite to be dismissed as random chance. You were nearing the point where your inner motivation was dangerously thinning, where your sense of direction was severely blurred, and where the incredible vision you have been painstakingly trying to build started to feel impossibly, eternally far away. You were not wrong to feel this way. The prevailing energy immediately preceding this lunation was intentionally dense and resistant. Every attempt felt like moving through thick mud. Your progress felt invisible, your Herculean efforts seemingly evaporating the moment you produced them. What you failed to perceive is that this moon did not arrive as a reward for your persistence. It showed up as an emergency reset, a last-second divine interception before you talked yourself out of the extraordinary destiny you are about to walk into. The timing is not a coincidence. It is a last-minute, essential rescue mission. You are not being tested or punished. Nothing was maliciously pushing you to your breaking point just to gauge your tolerance. Instead, you were being strategically slowed down so that this exact, precise moment of alignment could finally catch up to you. You were being held in place so that an essential, invisible shift, one you could not yet detect, could successfully complete its rotation. This moon has successfully cleared a dense energetic block that has been impeding your flow for much longer than you consciously realized. This blockage was not a person, not a mistake, and not old karma. It was a dead zone around your path, a stagnant, heavy layer that kept absorbing and nullifying your efforts and progress. Now that it has been successfully dissolved, the energetic momentum that used to vanish the moment you attempted forward movement finally sticks and carries you. You did not come this far, enduring every single dark night of the soul, just to stop now. You have survived every version of yourself that entertained the thought that quitting was the easier option. You are not at the end of your path. You are at the monumental point where the path finally, gloriously, opens wide before you. And this moon did not arrive to congratulate you. It arrived to gently, powerfully carry you across the last few critical steps you believed you had to take alone. Stay with Spiritual Days, Channel Chosen One.